Welcome to the 4Cs podcast for SAP Business One, brought to you by Third Wave Business Systems. I'm Mike Ham, and my colleague Tyson McMurrin, bringing you a podcast that takes a deeper dive into the ERP system that is SAP Business One. We'll be hosting product experts and members of the Business One community, helping you, a Business One user, get the most out of SAP Business One. Hello and welcome back to episode 9. I'm Mike Ham. With me as always, Tyson McMurrin. Today we're going to be talking about core. We're going to do a fix-it for internal reconciliation. Instead of a quote today, we're going to start out with a customer. And this comes to us from a stressed controller. Question is, the auditor has requested a list of all open transactions at the end of the fiscal year for the allocation account. I have tried the chart of accounts drill down report to the account, entering the posted date through and selected unreconciled. This did not balance. I've also tried the general ledger report and could not get it to balance. Any ideas on what's causing this and how I can provide my auditor with an accurate report? Tyson, can we help this person?
We sure can. So Mike, one of the things that we on the 4Cs podcast talk a lot about is real time. And this is a good example of where an auditor needs to look back at a certain, period of time, like a snapshot saying, at the end of the fiscal year, I need to know what was in this account. In this example, the balance sheet report is correct. However, the controller is struggling with being able to provide the supporting report to be able to show the values within that. One of the main reasons that this is happening is in SAP Business One, we have this concept of three-way matching. So if I create a purchase order, then I receive the goods, then I get the AP invoice. So we can match those three documents together to make sure that we have control. Right? One of our C's, Mike.
Yep.
So what happens from time to time is, actually what happens in standard SAP Business One in a normal flow is we create a purchase order, we receive those goods, we don't have an invoice for those goods yet. So what happens is that the value that is on the goods receipt PO at the time of the receipt is going to put that inventory into stock at that value, and it's going to create the offsetting to that account to the accrual account, or the, in this case, the allocation account as it's called. Most people in their SAP Business One system, this would be the goods received, not invoiced account. What happens is typically, once we have the AP invoice, the AP invoice will then clear out the goods received not invoiced and replace it with the accounts payable. So the entry at the AP invoice period of time is remove the goods received not invoiced, or the allocation account, and replace it with the payable account. Okay?
Yep.
Now, what happens is that the reconciliation of clearing out those accounts is happening in real time as those documents are coming through. So the accountant was on the right path. In this case, what happened was there were invoices that had been received and reconciled. So basically, it's a scenario where we half received the goods, which kind of half reconciled it, right? So because it was half reconciled, the SAP report didn't know exactly how to, display this information. So, it's one of these things, Mike, where it's SAP Business One is accurate and correct, and you're still going to be able to receive more against that document because the document is still open. The challenge is that the reconciliation was partially reconciled. So because it was partially reconciled, the SAP assumes that it's reconciled, right? So when you select that unreconciled, it was triggering this event. So what we did is we created an open documents report that we can balance against that. So just basically showing me all of the open goods receipt POs at that period of time, and the supporting GL transactions behind all of that, so that the auditor can ensure that the real-time happenings of everything is actually accurate at that window of time of year end.
No, and that makes sense. That makes sense. And the real-time aspect is something that you're going to have to be cognizant of.
As I mentioned before, Mike, this is a scenario where, most times you're not going to hit this, but if our listening audience wants this query, so that you can, try and balance. Maybe you've run into this in the past and couldn't figure out why. Maybe you made an adjusting entry to balance to the unreconciled transaction report against your goods receipt, against your goods received not invoiced, because you couldn't prove it. So if you've run into this scenario in the past, SAP Business One, your balance sheet was actually right. It was just the supporting information just wasn't correct. So if you're looking for this query, reach out to us and send us an email, and we will send you the query. The reason that we're not going to post the query out into the general public is that we're referencing the system number of the GL account, like the SYS number that shows up in the SQL or in the HANA database. So because of that, that number is going to be different for each SAP Business One system. So I don't want to put the query out there and then somebody say, oh, well, this query is not working, Mike. So reach out to us. We'll help you get the right system number for your query, and we'll help you get that into your system. So yeah, if you run into this scenario, we're here to help you fix it.
And that's excellent. That's excellent. And much like this issue that this controller had run into, if there's others like this, similar to this, or dissimilar, please reach out to us. We'd love to use this as another opportunity to talk through it right here on the podcast and help not just you, but others like you who may be having that same issue. And this challenge and situation from this controller hits exactly what we preach here at Third Wave, and that's the 4 C's. And it hits 2 of the C's here, really, in control and also core, with tying this back to your Business One system.
As the original SAP Business One Gold Partner in North America, Third Wave Business Systems in Wayne, New Jersey partners with hundreds of growing businesses, and we work hard to ensure that every one of them is grounded in the 4 C's. With SAP Business One at the core. Connected with their business ecosystem, enabling everyone to communicate with the core, and empowered with the control needed to thrive in a digital world. The 4 C's, Third Wave, and you. Talk to us.
And with that, Tyson, a big thank you to you and helping this, stress controller work through this challenge that, I'm sure you're not going to find by Googling, right? So Tyson, really appreciate the help. And listeners, we really appreciate the submissions. Please keep them coming. Happy to discuss these on the podcast. Thank you, listeners, as always. I'm Mike Camp. With me, as always, is Tyson McMurrin, signing off here.
Take care and stay connected, everyone.